Hello, I'm Tony Oretga. I'm going to be working with you guys today. We're going to be making an animalito, or a little animal. We're going to be making them out of recycled materials, paper mache, and then painting them. The idea comes from Mexico, from Oaxaca, Mexico. And these are called Alebrijes, or I call them animalitos, little animals. So they're carved and they're painted with real saturated colors and got beautiful pattern. Well, in Mexico they use carving materials or carving tools, but we're just going to be using recycled material.
I want to introduce you to 3 animalitos that I have created. The first animalito is Sammy the Sloth. For this animalito, I used 2 paper cups, a cut up egg carton, and a cork from a wine bottle. I used acrylic paint for the undercolors of yellow, green, and red violet. This is Tommy the Turtle. The recycled materials I used on him are a balloon for his body, 8 carton parts for the eyes, head, and feet, a plastic cup lid for his back, and a strip of cardboard for his tail. This is Morris the horse. He is standing at attention, waiting for his daily working duties. Today we'll be creating a horse, and I will use Morris as our model. For our project, I will use a strawberry container, 5 toilet paper rolls, an 8 carton, and a plastic cup lid. Let's start building the armature for the horse. With scissors, I cut tabs or hinges onto the rolls in order to have good working surface areas to glue the legs onto the strawberry container. After cutting the tabs, I carefully bend them back. I then apply hot glue to the tabs and glue them onto the surface of the strawberry container. I reinforce the legs with masking tape, and the tape also works as a clamp to hold the legs in place while the glue dries. I do the same process for all 4 of his legs. I create tabs, bend them back, apply hot glue to the hinges, and attach the legs and reinforce with masking tape. For the horse's hooves, I use the bottom of an egg carton. I cut out the small bolt areas, and they are perfect size that fit into the openings of the tubes. Once I place the hooves into the opening, I hot glue them into place. The hooves also give strength and support to the tubes. I flip the horse onto its feet to see if he can stand, and he does. For the base of the horse's neck, I hot glue a plastic cup lid onto the strawberry container, and again I use masking tape like a clamp to hold it into place while it dries. I continue with the horse's neck and create tabs like I did on the legs, and I hot glue the neck onto the plastic lid. For the head, I use cut up 8 carton parts. The 8 carton parts are used for the skull, lower jaw, and upper jaw. I make sure there are tabs on each to glue them to the neck and each other. I use scrap triangular cardboard for the ears. I continue to use masking tape to secure the ears. The last part of the armature is a cardboard strip for his tail that is also glued into place. I am finished with the armature now and ready to prepare the wheat paste for the paper mache. It is now time to mix the flour paste. I will measure and mix 1 cup of cold water with 1 cup of flour into a plastic bucket. I will use a whisk to mix the 2 ingredients thoroughly together and make a creamy paste. This will make a good sticky paste to paper mache onto the horse. The next step in preparing for the paper mache is cutting strips of paper. You can use an old newspaper or cheap copy paper. I use a straight edge to tear down the paper. You can also use scissors or cut the paper down with your fingers. Just make a big pile of paper strips. Now I'm ready to paper mache. This is where I get a little messy. I start by submerging the paper strips into a bowl of paste and gluing them onto the armature. I start towards the top and work down and around. I make sure I overlap the strips. This helps with covering the armature and giving the armature unity and added strength. Once the paper mache is thoroughly dry, it's time to paint the base coat. I use a white acrylic paint because it cleans up easy and is non-toxic. With a brush, I apply paint onto the animalito. I make sure the paper mache is well covered and any small gaps or holes are filled with the paint. Now I have to let the base color dry. Now I can give my horse some color and personality. Since I'm using Morris the horse as my example, I want to paint this new animalito with a violet undercolor. In a small plastic container, I mix violet acrylic paint with white. This makes the color lighter, more pastel, and opaque. With a brush, I apply the violet onto the animalito. I make sure the paper mache is well covered and any small gaps or holes are filled with paint. Always look underneath the belly, head, and in between spots. Again, I have to let the violet color dry. I can use tape to create borders and shapes. With the violet completely dry, I want to add details and decorate it with a variety of colors and patterns. I do this by using small wooden dowels as stamps or small paint brushes or colored markers. It is time to let your animalito dry one last time. Now you have an animalito of your own.